So again, good morning and welcome to our session on our curriculum access tools. And today we are going to be talking about 3 ways to integrate Cowriter in the editing and revision process. And Cowriter is one of the curriculum access tools that we've had now throughout the district for about 4 years, I guess. And it's a really neat commitment of the district because it goes out to every student and every faculty member so that they can be able to use these tools on demand. It helps us to be able to support people who maybe would fall into the cracks a little bit and not necessarily qualify for a specific service. So it gives us a blanket coverage to a lot of people, a wide range, which makes it more socially acceptable to the students as well as making it accessible to everyone. And one of the great opportunities that we had is because it is Google, it's based in the Google Chrome browser as an extension, is that our students who have been doing virtual learning have also been able to access these tools through their Tomball Schools account while they're learning at home. And so the one we're going to be talking about today is Cowriter, and it mostly supports the writing process, although it can also support some areas of reading. That's not its primary function. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. So you should be seeing hopefully the slideshow. We're going to go through a few things just as a formality, and then we'll go right into how the tool works. My goal for these sessions is to provide short sessions that give you an overview of specific features of tools, because our tools are very robust and they meet a variety of needs. So last spring I gave longer presentations that kind of went into the whole program, and that was a little bit tough for people to absorb all the information about the programs. So if you see features in the description that you think would be useful, or you want to contact me directly, I can help you identify some things, and we can always work together separately from doing a webinar. We can work together to meet your child's needs. When I go into the slides, let's see. Hopefully we are seeing the slideshow here. And again, the topic today is using Cowriter in the editing and revision process. So one of the things that's really important for you to know is that the student has to be logged into the Google Chrome browser through their tomballschools.net account, or else it won't show up in their extensions. So you want to open up that Google Chrome browser and make sure that the student is logged in. If they're an elementary student, which in Tomball is up through the intermediate schools, their login is their ID number at elem.tomballschools.net. And if they're a secondary student, so a junior high or high school student, then their login would be this ID number at sec.tomballschools.net. So just pay attention, especially to this part, the SEC or the ELEM, because that's the part that the kids tend to forget if they're going to forget something. They can remember their lunch number, but they have a little difficulty sometimes remembering that they have to put that ELEM or SEC. The password for all of the students is lowercase TISD and the month, day, and year of their birth date, with the year being 4 digits. So that's the convention that we use. It's consistent, and with that information, you should be able to log your student in to their Google Chrome account and then be able to see the various things that they have, their Google Drive and their Docs and all those different kinds of things. You will also see, I'm going to exit out of this and show you on my live screen here. Let me make sure it's showing, because Zoom sometimes doesn't switch with me here. Okay, it looks like, and hopefully you can see my live screen. And up here in the upper right corner, you see all the different extensions. Now, these are my extensions. They might not be the same as what your student has, but pay attention to the one with the cloud, which is Cowriter that we're going to be talking about today. and the one with the compass, which is Snap and Read. And we will be talking about that also frequently during these training sessions, because those are the two big programs that we use to support curriculum access. There is another one, which is this one, which is, oh, excuse me, it's WordMaker. Let's see if it shows up here. I might have turned it off. Anyway, there's another one that's called WordMaker, and it gives a little bit of spelling support as well, but we're not going there today, so we'll skip that. So now that we're logged in, we're going to go into the settings on Cowriter, and that is where you can customize your personal options. So the way you do that is to click on the cloud icon and go down to options. So once they're signed in, this is going to be mine. I can then go to the options, and these are, I'm just going to run through real quick because they can really make a big difference in the amount of support that your student gets during their writing, especially with regards to specialized vocabulary. So say they're writing on a specialized topic. The first thing over here on the left column is a place where you can see some topic dictionaries. And if your student is writing on a particular topic, like say, you can see here some things that kids have picked: Mars mission, NFL football, a history topic maybe, or a book report that they have to do. If they type in that topic here, I'm going to put in A Christmas Carol. So we know that's a Charles Dickens novel, and we can hit that and hit enter, and it's going to create a topic dictionary. And with that topic dictionary, it's going to predict earlier the vocabulary that it's scraped from the internet and put into this word bank. So it helps support the spelling even more than just having like the whole dictionary there. It will still have that whole dictionary, but it will also prioritize the vocabulary that's related to the particular topic that the person has put in. So if they're writing about their hobbies, and let's say they like to play chess, they might put in chess and have that come up. If they like to swim, they could put in Olympic swimming and maybe come up with all the vocabulary that has to do with that. So it's very diverse, and it can be something that's very personal. It doesn't have to be like a major research topic, but it will scrape the internet and pull in the vocabulary that will help support that writing process. And we'll look at that a little bit more in detail in a little bit. Our prediction language is typically in English. So you can see here, we have the prediction languages in English, but there are options here. We do have a Spanish prediction language, and then the company does have German and French prediction languages. So if you're not a English language speaker, there are some options, and some of our bilingual campuses do teach in Spanish. So we can have that Spanish prediction as well. Here are some things that help also to target the predictive spelling process. One is predict from page, and you can see from the blue little slider that it's turned on. One is predict ahead, and one is flexible spelling. So predict from the page means that if the teacher has given the student some kind of document in their Schoology or in their Google Classroom or what, from their Google Drive, whatever it is that they're using, that you can tell it that you want it to predict from the page based on the vocabulary that's on that page. And so that way it doesn't have to be a specialized topic. It can actually come from that document. Predicting ahead means that it's going to support the grammar prediction. So the program's going to provide in the prediction list the next word that is highly likely to follow the word that they've selected, even before they select the first letter of the word. And that helps our kids who have difficulty typing, who have difficulty with decoding, who have difficulty with grammar. It's a nice support in that way. And then flexible spelling is, it's for those students who have difficulty predicting or spelling the words, decoding the words phonetically. If they do decode the word in make an error, the research base for this product allows the program to provide potentially the correct word, even though the student didn't spell it correctly. So for example, if I was spelling like and I spelt it L-I-C, it might be able to still find like based on that grammar prediction, that inline prediction, and in the research base that it has. And again, I'm going to show you all these things in a little bit. This last tool on the left side is Translate Writing into English. And again, this is a great support for our second language learners because it allows them to write the word in their home language, and then the program will provide it in the English language. So it's a great bridge for those students who are making the transition from a second language to English. On the, are there any questions about the items on the left side there? You're free to turn on a microphone too if you want to ask your questions rather than chatting them. So just be aware of that. I welcome your questions. But we're going to go ahead down the right side. The right side starts with how to set up the number of guesses and what the actual prediction bar looks like, the prediction cloud. So here you have the number of guesses. It can be anywhere from 1 to 9, and 5 is the default. Most people just leave it at 5, but if that's more distracting, or if maybe the student is a good writer and just needs a little bit of additional visual prompt for some more difficult words, then they might only want 1 or 2 showing up there in the box. This slider helps you choose the size of the prediction box and the size of the font. So you can see that you can adjust that very easily. And some people like it smaller and other people like it larger because of all different reasons. And I like it somewhere in between. So I'm going to leave mine there. You can see I have a black background and white text. You can choose that simply by clicking on this color palette, and they can make that change in that prediction box. I use the black background and white text just because it's easier for me to see, but some of the students have an easier time seeing other colors or just have a preference and they like to change that. And here we have the features that have to do with how it reads back, because that's a really important part of this tool. So the prediction voice can be David or Zira, and it also depends on what device you're on. So if you're on a Mac computer or you're on a different kind of computer, you may find that you have different voices available to you. I like the Microsoft David voice, so I just leave it there. Here we have the speak letters, speak words, or speak sentences. So if you click on speak letters, then every time you type a letter, it's going to say that letter. Most people don't really need that, although an early alphabet learner might benefit from that. I typically leave that off for the students if I'm helping them set up. Speaking words sometimes is useful, and some students like to have that so that they can hear each word as they put it in the sentence. And then it's going to speak each word every time you put the space in or you've made a selection from the prediction bar. And then speak sentences means that every time you put in a punctuation mark, it's going to read the preceding sentence only. Okay, so it's not going to read the whole document. It's only going to read that one sentence that preceded the punctuation mark. And then here we have speak after speech to text. So this is a new tool, actually. This is brand new. And what that will do is after you have spoken the text, so you're doing voice typing, it will speak back what you typed. So that may be helpful for students who struggle with reading and maybe making that correction while they are doing their work. So that is something, again, that you can turn on and off. Let's leave it on, and then when we go into the document, we can test that out because that is a brand new tool. Here we have the adjustments for the voice as it is reading back or as it's predicting. So I always tell the students to turn the volume all the way up here because they can adjust the volume in the keyboard of their Chromebook, and they can also adjust the volume in the tray of their computer. So I like to have it all the way up there just so it's one less place to look when you're trying to troubleshoot and you can't hear what's being said. And then we have the voice speed and pitch, and those are, again, just ways to make your preferences known. The last tool here, we're not really going to talk about today, but it has to do with like an overlay or a reading line. So students who have difficulty tracking across a line, that's a common thing with kids with dyslexia. Some kids that are not neurotypical will have difficulty tracking. Different eye conditions will have different difficulty tracking. And so here you can also change the color of the highlight of the text, and you can change the color of the background of the text so that you have a better view of what is going on as it's reading back to you. So those are all adjustable. So the text color, you want it to be in contrast to the background color, of course, so that you can see it. Are there any questions about the options before we go into the examples? Again, feel free to turn on your microphone if you want to ask the question. Okay, moving right along then. I'm going to go to a little document, and I made some sentences here. And this is where I'm going to show you how you can use the word prediction in different ways. So I made several sentences here. One of the least supports that you can do when you have writing a document is just use the regular spell check that's built into the computer, right? You can see that I have all my prompts turned off so that it's not underlining the words that I spelled wrong. I like to do that with students a lot of times because many times they'll get so tangled up in seeing the red squiggles or the blue squiggles that show spelling errors or grammar errors that they lose track of the ideas that they're trying to get down. And I know we can correct those all at the end. So I encourage them to turn off those tools, those supports in the menu. So right here, I'm showing the menu. And let me make sure that you're seeing the right screen again, because this often will just not do what I want it to. Okay, we should be good. And feel free to let me know if you're not seeing what I'm talking about. I need to know. So here we go. And you can see here in the tools, spelling and grammar, you can turn them off and on just by clicking next to them, and you can see I have them turned off right now. So I don't have them showing any red squiggles or blue squiggles here, but I can still go back then and turn them on when I'm done. And then I can go in and it will help. See, this is just the Google here. So here's their Google support for to change this to this to. And so I can accept that. See how it's got it highlighted here? We can accept that because that's going to be the right one, right? And then beach, when I go to the beach, and here's the correct beach, so I can accept that too. I like, let's see, we're going to fix that to, and it's going down to the next sentence. So it didn't finish all the rest of these things, right? So since it didn't find this, we can then go to the Cowriter. So I can bring up my Cowriter and I can go here and see over here where it says when.
When.
So that's what I wanted. So I can click on that and it will replace it. And then I can go to this one, to lay in the sun. And here we go. I can put lay in the sun. And what happens if I go next to the I can see that it's supposed to be capitalized and I can fix that. So you can see that's one way that you can use it. You can start with your Google, or you can go directly to your Cowriter and use it just as an editing support. But the other thing that you can do is write the sentence to begin with by using the predictive spelling. So if I'm decoding and I have enough decoding skills that I know my first word starts with a W, so I'm going to type W, and then I can hit the number 2, and it's going to insert. And then I have, you can see on the screen here, these are the most common words that might follow that particular word when, and so I want I, so I'm going to hit the number 2. Go, I'm going to hit G, and there. I can listen to these.
Got, get, go.
That's the one I want. Excuse me. So you can see that you can use the predictive spelling to also put those words in and then not have to necessarily go back and do that. I'm going to finish out the sentence. I'm just going to type it. Oh, I typed it. Okay, so you can remember that in my options, I had read the sentence, right? Not read each word as I predicted it, as I put it in. So here we're going to hit the punctuation.
When I go to the beach, I like to lay in the sun.
And it will read that one sentence to me. It's not going to go through the whole document. If I am right here and I hit it, it should read, let's get rid of this one. Put the punctuation.
When I go to the beach, I like to lie in the sun.
And you can see it read only that sentence. It didn't go back to the beginning. So that's what it means to read by sentence. And you can see here is how you can do the predictive spelling and put it in the sentences. Now, one of the things that we also talked about is the voice typing. And the neat thing about Cowriter and voice typing is that it will carry across all different applications and web pages that are on your computer. So it doesn't only work in Google Docs or in Google Slides. It'll work if you are filling out a form on a web page or doing a search even. You could have your Cowriter turned on and then you can click on your microphone. So I'm going to go down a little bit and I'm going to click my microphone. And I'm going to give it permission to use my microphone. It is quick and easy to type with voice typing. It is quick and easy to type with voice typing in Google Docs.
It is quick and easy to type with voice typing in Google Docs.
And you might recall that in the options, I told it that I wanted it to speak what I had written from voice typing. And so that's what that just did. I didn't have to have a punctuation in it. I just had to stop the microphone from receiving the voice to text. So that's really good because sometimes our students aren't as easy to be understood. They speak quietly or there's a distraction in the classroom or something like that. And this way they can check what the accuracy is of what they're writing just as they are writing it. Or they can have that turned off. So we can go back to the options. We can turn off that last thing, speak after speech to text. And if they prefer to hear the whole document instead of just hearing that one sentence, then they can turn on their snap and read. And when they turn that on, they can click on their speaker and they can listen to the whole document.
When I go to the beach, I like to lay in the sun. It is quick and easy to type with voice typing in Google Docs. When I go to the beach, I like to lie in the sun.
So you can see it will continue reading until you click the speaker off again, or you click right in the document. So again, I'm going to show you that. We're going to click on the speaker over here in the sidebar, and this is snap and read.
To lay in the sun.
And then I can click my mouse and turn it off and on. But I can also reposition it anywhere I want on the page, and it will read whatever I want.
Typing in Google Docs.
So as long as it's
When I go to the beach,
as long as it's got the little speaker on the cursor like it does there, you can click on and click off and it will read back to you whatever you need it to read. So in summary, those are the 3 ways that we have of addressing the editing and revision process using Cowriter. We can use it after we've written everything as a spelling grammar check. We can incorporate the predictive spelling using the predictive box that's there, or we can do it with our voice typing and then listen to what we've typed and make those corrections in our document. Again, Cowriter does work across all the web pages. You can insert it in any text box and it's gonna be able to support the student in their writing regardless. It doesn't have to be only in a Google document or only in a slideshow. So do you have any questions before we close for the day? Okay, and let me know if there's some specific things that you need help with, and I will be happy to help you out. But thanks for coming.